I know obviously you got healthier out of the break. The team got some rest out of the break. Just hockey-wise, is there anything you're doing just maybe that's significantly better than before going into the break, whether it's playing straight lines or checking forward?
Connected, playing hard. Our goaltending has been good. I thought Feds was really good the other night. Ursa's been good for a while. Thought faded his last game. But no, just playing, and certainly it's a different lineup than we had before the break.
How helpful is it to you? You know, obviously you're putting that Cates. You try to get that Cates line. It seems like out against the top line to the other team. You're home now for 7 days. You expect that continued? Is that a pretty big luxury you have the way they've been going?
Yeah, home and away, we've been getting it, and we fight for it on the road. Not only just for the checking part, they've brought a lot of offense also. So, yeah, we don't get locked into it, but we're just going to play. I thought we practiced well. We just got to take each game at a time, try to do the best we can. As I said after the game the other night, if we stay connected and we play hard, you always have an opportunity to stay in a game, and we'll see where we go from there.
You mentioned about Ivan Fedotov having the really strong game this weekend. A performance like that, does that get you wanting to get him in more games?
No. Ursa's our number one, and we'll go about when we think it's time for him to play, we'll play. But to force feed it, no. Ursa's our number one.
Is there something about Fedotov that allows him, I know you know him to a degree, you've had him for 1 year, but that allows him to play maybe better than expected after long layoffs?
Well, it's probably a question for Dilly, but when I watched him play the other night, there wasn't a lot of craziness with his game. I thought he was very sound in his positioning, and he wasn't busy. I think when you see a goalie not busy, he's on his angles, he looks big, and I thought he looked that way the whole night.
Fair to say that there aren't many goalies, though, who can. You've coached for 30 years, you've been around, you've seen lots of backup goalies. It's a rarity to have a goalie that has sat for a month, comes in, plays a game like that, can do it again over and over again.
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm not sure if it's a rarity. That's their job. I think we have a really good goalie coach in Dilly that who's been very busy. We've carried 3 goalies most of the year. Has been very busy trying to keep these guys ready. So again, that is the backup's job, and we expect it out of him. And I know it's as I watched Urs the prior game, I wasn't sure what I was going to do against Winnipeg, but Urs just looked a little off and needed a break. Not ideal to be playing against the top team in the league and get thrown in after a while being out, but that's just the way the schedule worked.
John, at the end of practice, it looked like you guys were working on 3-on-3 overtime, and it looked like you were emphasizing sticking with your man-to-man coverage, stop switching.
Because we cover like shit, yes.
Yeah, and you guys have gone to overtime, I think 18 times. How critical is defense in overtime right now for you guys because you keep going to overtime?
Yeah, we want to win in overtime, right? It's like I said, they're crucial points right now. But when you're trying to win in overtime, sometimes you have to play defense, and I think we're just so inconsistent, and we don't have much more practice time. We want to make sure we get that in today, and we're going to show even some clips from practice tomorrow, to try to hammer home the point as far as how you do play a 3-on-3. Because I think those points are going to be crucial. As you see the East, what it is, we're always involved in these games. I want us to be better at it, and and at times I think we have the problem solved. Other times I say, holy shit, are we just not thinking? And so I think it was want to hit it today for sure, because I'm not sure if we're going to have another chance to do it in a couple of weeks.
You've talked about going on this run, right? And you're obviously off to a pretty good start here coming out of the break. Some of the teams above you are, it looks like they're banged up. They might be slowing down a little bit. They might be sellers at the deadline. Whereas, I don't know what you guys are going to do either, but does the fact that you have a group of young players right now playing well, whether it's Michkov, Drysdale, Cates, Does that give you hope that maybe they can ramp it up here and continue to improve over the last 2 months?
I've always had hope. The way the East is, I've always had hope. And as I said, every day I come into this building for practice, every day I go to the big rink for the games, I don't have to worry about effort. And that's a big part of staying in this is the work habit, the standard of how we play as far as effort. That's a given here. And it's so good as a coach to know that that's there. Now the other things have to come into play. A big play here, a big play there, some good goaltending, and you just find your way. And I don't know what's going on with the other teams as far as injuries and all that. I'm just focused on each and every day as far as what we're trying to do. So comes and goes, right? We've seen it all year long with us. That's why we're 500. It comes and goes. Just going to try to have a go as long as we can get, keep it going. And if we fall off, we got to get back at it. So, and then we'll see where we fall at the end of the year.
About a month ago, Adam asked a question about player evaluations. With the deadline looming this week, commencing on Friday, are the evaluations still ongoing?
Always. Yeah.
Does the organization know who's going to be a part of the future, who's not?
I think
be dealt.
I think we're always looking. We don't have an answer of this guy's here. We're constantly evaluating, and you start playing more meaningful games towards the end of the year when it's a tough time of the year. You find out more about people. We just got 2 guys from Calgary we traded for. We're evaluating them. I thought Kuzmenko probably played his best game the other night since he's been here. So that's constantly going. I'm sure, when's the deadline? Friday? I'm sure Danny will be talking and listening and all that. But there's no definite who's being traded, if anybody's traded, or that's a constant as we go through this.
John, 1 or 2 more. With overtime, what's the key to it with between offense and defense and strategy in terms of so much more ice, so much more speed? It seems like in the overtime. I guess what do you consider the key? Having
the puck. We're trying to have the puck as long as we can. One of the biggest keys for me is not shooting a puck wide. It really is, because you shoot a puck wide, it's a 2-on-1 going the other way. And trying to possess the puck, but teaching the players that just because it's open ice and you can use the whole sheet whenever you want, you can bring it back and try to reattack and all that. It's trying to teach the players there's still play away from the puck. That's important. There's a couple of our guys that, if they understand that, and maybe they don't get rewarded with a scoring chance, but they play good defense, they have another round coming up in probably 3 shifts, right? Or 2 shifts maybe, to go get another whack at it. We can't cheat to bring offense to it, because then it's in the back of our net, and they don't get back on the ice. So that's what we're trying to have them understand. We still, one of the mainstays of this team is our hardness away from the puck, checking away from the puck. That should not change when it's 3-on-3, just because there's more open ice. I think if you're harder defensively, you end up more chances the other way. But to teach offensive guys, and that's basically what I'm using out there, right? To teach them that with all this free ice and looking to go the other way, because there's really no defenders back there. There's not 2 defensemen back there. It's hard. So we're crucial points, and we seem to always be involved in it.
Kind of using that as a jumping off point. At 5-on-5, there's different tactics across teams.
Sure.
Different forechecks, man versus zone in the D zone. What is there variance in terms of team-by-team tactics at 3-on-3, or is it pretty standard? It's just guys making plays?
I think it's offensive people. I think teams have certain delays as far as breakouts, trying to get some, just like in a power play when they dump it back to the 2 guys, they're trying to get people standing still, then attacking with speed. I think there's some things there that teams probably go over. 3-on-3, see, I love it. I do. I think we should play until I've told you we should play until the game's over, not go to the shootout. I think it gives the offensive guys a chance to be there with open ice, because there's just, especially this time of year, there's not a lot of room on the ice. So to open it up that way, I love that. But how the other coaches, I have no idea. But I know with my team, because I think sometimes when you're playing against really good teams like Winnipeg, they're deeper. Their roster's deeper, so we have to defend. You have to have some patience with it too, and that's what I'm trying to teach our team. Is we have some guys that can score some goals, but let's not on 50-50s be hoping you get a pass out here and then it's a 2-on-1 in the back of our net. I still think there needs to be some patience within the 3-on-3.
There's one guy that doesn't seem to get rattled by trade rumors. It's Ristolainen, and it seems like he plays that way, even keel. A mistake doesn't seem to bother him at all. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I like when the deadline comes. I think I owe it to the players, and I meet with the team and tell them, you have any questions, you ask me. Where you stand, because I think we owe the players that respect. That we ask them to do all this stuff, and you're giving them shit all year long about standard and all the stuff we talk about. When it comes down to it, they're thinking, well, maybe the family might have to be moved and all the rumors going on. I want them to be able to come to me and ask a question. I went to Risto. I said, this was a while back when you guys were writing about it, right? And I said, anything for me? He says, I don't want it. I just want to play. And that's the way he plays. You know, I don't think Risto gets enough respect out here. He just plays. There's not a lot of talk, and he just plays. And as I said, I think he's our most improved player for the first 3 years of my coaching.